What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be my 1-year review on the Alienation Acme carbon rims. Now, I've been running these things on, I want to say like 5 different bikes, several different paint jobs, all different sets of tires, and 1 year ago today, I put these things on my bike with kind of the anticipation of not really knowing what would happen, because I'm so used to running the Alienation like 7 series rims. Actually, I've been running Alienation rims just in general for over 10 years, and I actually used to ride for them for about 7 or 8 years, and to be honest with you, I only trust Alienation rims, and I'm not being paid to say that. I don't ride for the company anymore. I just choose not to ride any other product because these are literally hands down the best rims on the market. Now, full disclosure, these rims were given to me by the owner of Alienation 1 year ago, but not with the intent that I had to promote them in such a positive light. It just so happens that these things are just badass, and we're going to go over why I think these are the rims of the future, in my opinion. Now, over the years, I've ridden countless different rims, all different manufacturers, as well as ridden for Alienation, so I got a perfect idea of exactly what to expect, not just of carbon rims, but all different rims across the spectrum. Alienation has released, man, I want to say like at least 20 different kinds of rims with different materials, different series, such as 6 series, 7000 series, and onward. So I have a perfect idea of kind of what to expect with if these things would even last. So being a year later, these things are still alive and kicking, I'm absolutely surprised. So I'm gonna talk about my positive occurrences with these rims, as well as my gripes and what I see in the future for not just carbon, but I think Alienation going forward with carbon rims, because right now, I'm pretty sure they are leading with the whole carbon movement. There is, I think Eclaw has their own carbon rim. I'm not too sure if any other brands out there do, but as far as I'm concerned, they're leading. So I guess the first question people ask is, are these rims gonna break while I ride? Well, that depends on the kind of rider you are. So if you're like, you know, a rider that just wants to huck stuff downstairs, then carbon fiber might not be the best thing for you, but I can attest that they can last high impact. Now, as far as under rotating a spin, such as a 360 or a 540, I'm not too sure with that, but I can pretty much say that no rim would survive that off of a big set. Now, people have a common understanding of how rims are made, and they don't necessarily know how carbon rims are made. So I'm gonna overlay some footage right here, put some music to it, that way you guys can understand how these things are made from the beginning to the end. So people look at carbon as like a weight weenie type of a thing in BMX, mountain biking, or road biking, right? So that's actually pretty much, I guess, on par, but also false, because carbon can actually be really, really strong. And it's one of the strongest materials out there. Otherwise, why would you see mountain bikers doing Red Bull Rampage, jumping off of huge cliffs, doing backflips and crazy maneuvers, and trusting their life in carbon? That's what I'm saying. Let's give it a chance. Let's see what it's able to do. And I know that BMX will welcome it once it sees more riders on them. Since riding these rims, I've had several different brake pads because I heard a rumor that you needed special brake pads to be able to ride these rims, which ended up being a rumor and totally false. I run clear brake pads on there right now, Eclaw clear brake pads, and they lock up on the dime. Now, Alienation makes two different style of the Acme carbon rims. I'm running both the rear. Why? Because I planned on putting front brakes on my bike at some point in time, and I wanted to be able to do that. And with their grooves that they have cut out on the side of the rim, really helps with that extra braking power. Now, these rims are tubeless compatible, and I have been tubeless on this setup before, but to be honest with you, that's not for me. I don't think that BMX Freestyle is ready for tubeless. I've tried it for a period of time and kept on having a bunch of different leak issues, and it could have been just user error on putting the rim tape in there, or maybe how much PSI I had in there. It could have been a number of things. But in the meantime, I'm gonna continue to run tubes, and the Tubelito tubes for that matter, because, you know, rotational weight. At the end of the day, it's not really about saving weight as far as I'm concerned, because I've been riding bikes for so long. I know how to manipulate and maneuver the bike, but it does feel good to have a bike that is just a well-balanced machine. Now, the rims I used to run before this were the Alienation Vandal, and that is a 15.1 ounce rim. And then these are 9.5 ounces. Now, that's at its standstill weight. The rotational weight is actually where things really matter. And that's the reason why a lot of people run like Tubelito tubes or titanium spokes, or now, for that matter, I just put on those titanium cranks. And I've had problems with the previous iteration, and this is a new one. And so far, so good. We'll revisit that for another video. But yeah, titanium, carbon, I think BMX can actually use all of this, and it just depends on your riding style and your bank account, I guess, because things can get pretty expensive, and BMX in general is already expensive as it is. So you can get like a pretty decent, you know, complete bike out there for just under $1,000. You know, my current setup right now, I don't even want to add it up, but if I had to add it up, I'll just put it on the screen right now. That way I don't have to do it off the top of my head, but that's how much my bike, you know, costs as of right now, which is pretty insane. But you know, at the same time, like, I've been riding bikes long enough to know my riding style and what I'll break versus what I won't. Now, I know in the beginning of the video, I said I was going to talk about the pros and the cons. Now, literally, pros are going to be weight saving, rotational weight saving, the overall look, the stiffness and feel of how these wheels feel when you're riding them is bar none. Now, as far as cons, I really don't have any cons. Maybe the price is probably my only con. Lacing these up was really easy. Running brakes on them works like a charm. And at the end of the day, carbon parts are going to be a little bit more expensive because of the process that I showed you on how they're built. All right, 1 year later, these things are still holding strong. The Acme carbon rims done by Alienation have been done right. Now, these things have lasted through double whips on spines, 360 double whips on spines, flares, crashing on like different manual variations, smacking the rims into things. These things, in my opinion, are by far the best rims that I've ever ridden. So with that being said, they do cost a little bit extra compared to your average rim out there. But if you're looking to make that extra jump, not just in cost, but just your riding potential, check these things out. Acme carbon rims done by Alienation. Links in the description below. Oh, yeah, one more thing. There is a slight little wish. I'm going to wish it because the last conversation I had with the owner of Alienation, we talked about possibly doing colors of these carbon rims. I would like to see white, purple, blue, red. I mean, you let me know in the comments. What do you think you'd want to see next on the Acme carbon rims? So with that being said, if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, put them in the comments below. If you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.